Like, the funniest thing for me out of all of that, do you not think the wildest thing is he said all of those things, right, just to say it's a 7 out of 10? A 7 out of 10's a pretty good score. Do you know what I mean? 7 out of 10's pretty good. Like, I'd hate to hear what he's got to say if he didn't enjoy it. Fuck me, bro. Arknights Endfield cannot be this serious. So you guys are saying this is about Tollborough, which I've seen some of the stuff, which, again, if this is about Tollborough, which you were saying it is, and I believe ya, I've said this before. I actually have a lot of time for Tollborough, right? I've had time for him because I think he has the capability to be an incredibly good content creator. He's an intelligent guy, and every single conversation I've had with him in public and private has been nothing but respectful and positive. Yeah, I guess let's see what Cookie's got to say, because these two have kind of bumped heads before, right? So, see what Cookie's got to say about you.
Sometimes I think Endfield reviews can be a little overboard, a little too harsh, but I think this one takes a whole nother level. I'm going to show you an anonymous review of someone who commented about the latest patch over on a private Discord server. I'm going to start off with something that was said before the patch was even released.
It's like, I'll give him the Watson as well, the graces of, this wasn't a video, right? He's just speaking in a Discord server. I guess sometimes, do you even need to? And there's this like point for me, it's like, if you're at a point with where you are, where potentially saying, again, let's see what, because I didn't read all of it, to be fair. I just saw some stuff and I was just like, okay, that's a bit wild, but maybe I'm missing context, because I was before, some screenshots were shared to me, I spoke to him in the DMs, he did kind of add some context that didn't remove the problem, shall we say. The actions were still a little bit reactionary. But at the same time, there was a little bit more context there, because sometimes, you know, you can make Discord messages look really bad if you're cutting sort things out, right? But at the same time, some of the comments, I'd be interested to know what the potential context could be, right?
The framing in that Reddit post is genuinely the most vapid nonsense I've seen from the Endfield sub for quite a while. No.
Why is Cookie cut out his name like people don't know who he's on about? Like, I feel like I just said words I'll never say again after this video. Also, ads are off. Alright, let me preface this then. I've got to wait and see what the video says. As much as I can say, Tollborough's, let's say for the better word, outbursts are not necessarily necessary. They are in a Discord, but it's a private Discord, but it's public, right? And some of the stuff he says is kind of crazy. Was this video necessarily needed? He reveals it at the end. Okay. I don't know if this video is necessary, right? Is it really necessary?
Stale gameplay, lack of direction, artistic integrity, literary pestilence, anything of real value or merit. Just too much doom posting, let's be positive. Because stop being negative about my IDF goonslop.
Like, that's... that's a crazy statement. Like, it's not wrong in the sense that some people are like this in every game, right? In every game. Like, don't be negative about my game, but like, the IDF goonslop, you guys are going to have to explain that one to me. Like, I'm not getting the connection to the IDF, Israel, and Arknights Endfield, or is it more about the context of the people, I guess, on the Reddit post?
IDF goonslop, which if you're wondering what that is, it's Israel Defense Forces.
Sounds like it's more directed at the game.
Endfield Industries is the IDF. Only 500 characters this time is kinda crazy.
Oh, yeah, well, there, it's clear as day there, right? Endfield Industries is the IDF.
Industries is the IDF. Only 500 characters this time is kinda cringe. Can't go on a rant about how the Endfield devs are like the IDF. It's really marketing.
Okay, that's fucked up. That's kind of fucked up, right? That's fucked up. Like, you want to make an edgy joke about Endfield Industries being the IDF. Okay, I get the idea. Maybe that's been thrown around there. they're settling and all this, and the arguments that can be made from different angles around that, whatever, right? I'm not getting into that whole conversation anymore, but I'm just, okay, I can understand the potential fucked up joke that's being made there. I'm British. Fucked up jokes don't offend me. Do you know what I mean? But at the same time, you then go on to say that the Endfield devs are like the IDF. That's crazy, bro. Like, what is that all about? Like, what the fuck?
It's really marketing. These end names they put out were never good. Aping Hoyo again without any of the sauce. I legit just don't
Wait,
see
is he saying Enfield doesn't have Hoyo sauce? That might be the craziest thing there. Hey, look, you guys know me. I'm not a Hoyo hater. I'm not a Hoyo hater, right? What does he mean by without any of the sauce? Like, again, I'm somebody who enjoyed Star Rail. I'm somebody who enjoyed Genshin. I like Zenly Zone Zero. Enfield's got the sauce. Do you know what I mean? Like, if he was saying they all don't have the sauce, I could get that, but like, that's kind of wild. He's talking about the actual specific marketing. But I think some of the marketing's been alright for Enfield. I suppose, maybe. It hasn't had the best marketing.
I legit just don't see any possible way this game can convince me the idol is anything more than lowest common denominator garbage.
I ain't got
Won't
there yet,
push
so I don't
any
know.
boundaries, won't challenge anyone's views. It'll just be, oh wow, Endmin, thank you for helping my overcome my self-doubt. You're the best, glop, glop, glop. Thank you, Endmin, for letting me suck your dick.
Thank you for helping my overcome myself. Oh, it's a typo.
You're the best. Slop eaters will fight in the trenches with the usual joy and whimsy defense, and they'll all get their IDF medals in due course.
Bro, like, what's this fucking fascination with the IDF, bro? That's kind of weird, that is. Right? Again, I've had time for my guy, but like, you know, when you throw a joke out there, you're playing a bit of dark humor, right? Alright, again, I'm not out here to be the joke police. I'm not. But like, this is a repeating thing here. It's just like, okay, what? What are we doing here now? So what now? So the Slop Eaters will fight in the trench with the usual joy and whimsy defense, and they'll all get their IDF medals in due course. Like, what the fuck? That's so weird. Again, like I say, I feel like bro sticking around just to, I don't know if it's just to justify his initial opinions, to rally against people just enjoying things. I know some people see it as overly positive, and I can understand the frustration with over positivity sometimes. You know, I get similar frustration when I see Kuro bots, some of the stuff that they come out with. But usually for me, it's never so much that I see a problem with them being overly positive about the things they're enjoying. It's when they use that positivity to attack other things, I usually have a bit of an issue. Like, I'd never have an issue with Kuro bots if they'd never been so aggressive towards other communities. I'll be like, you know what? Let them enjoy the slop. They're enjoying it. They're having fun. But like, okay.
Praying for you, you haven't done Rossi's quest. Also, ICL. What's ICL? I'm a boomer. Can someone tell me in the comments? Still feels like it caters to Blue Archive fans, character and personality-wise. Gotta be real, I think that's unfair to Blue Archive fans. Very strongly dislike Si. Within 30 seconds of meeting her, you can tell exactly who she's for. Yeah, tsundere, bratty, teenager, but not actually a teenager, that sort of thing. Okay, on to the current patch. I looked around earlier
He's making the nonce inferences again, yeah?
today and I saw almost universal praise for the news story. The bar really is in fucking Gehenna. It's the same Harren slot as Tang Tang's character assassination. The writers won't let characters grow without the admin being involved. Like, as far as Harren slot goes, I think the arcane part was competent, but it's still Harren slot. And it still incessantly revolves around the admin.
Oh, I haven't done this, so I can't say. I think there's some fairness to argue that the admin does play too much of a central role all of the time. But that's something that I'm willing to let not become the case all of the time. We're at 1.4 at the minute, but I can understand the worries around that. It was one of the issues I took with Wuthering Waves. I did. I don't think it's anywhere near as bad as Wuthering Waves, but I did have an issue, like, you know, early on with Wuthering Waves where I was just like, man, can we just have some like character interactions away from the rover for a little bit? Like, let's have some growth, and you know, even if it's like a patch where the rover's barely involved, but you know, this is just a personal thing. But again, it's the same thing, man. Like, I saw almost universal praise for the new story. Hey, look, I think when it comes to this sort of stuff, I am quite critical of a lot of gacha games, but I don't judge people for being overly positive about stuff that I don't necessarily enjoy, man. It just is what it is, right?
Simultaneously failing to attract porn artists while also desperately trying to court the consumers, all while having a CN player base who voted for Rossi as their most sexually desired character.
So the Enfield LARP procrastinated over Cloudy's video, I didn't know.
We didn't even think were possible. Oh, by the way, any thoughts on 1.4's main storyline? Better than previous ones, NWEZ is pretty sick and the OST is expectedly good, but Cool Environment's BGM were already par for the course. I really can't help but notice a lot of the praise the current patch
I'm glad at least he recognises the environmental design in this game is fire.
Getting is just because the bar is no longer comically low, whereas it was in hell before. I think the patch could be some.
I don't think it was in hell. I just think we've had a game that had a lot of alterations before launch and just continually improved. Do you know what I mean? I think that's something that's fair for fans to be excited about, especially when Hypergryph have a track record for improving over time. Like, again, this is what I say, like, for me, when I see a lot of stuff from Tolbrew, like, he's got issues with the game, which is fine. Some of his analogies and jokes are just kind of a bit wild and weird sometimes, and once he's one thing, but when he keeps doing it, it's a bit odd. But that's fine. You like what you like, right? You like what you like. But it feels like it's more of a... It kind of feels like a Saint sort of thing in the sense that I'm angry that you're over there having fun. Like you're standing off from the fire pit, everybody's roasting marshmallows, and you're sitting there going, fuck! You know what I mean? And I'm just like, just stop interacting with the community. Stop going looking for this stuff. Stop going on Reddit subreddits and looking for people enjoying the content. Play the game and feel how you feel about the game. Do you know what I mean? Even express it, even. Fair enough. If he wants to do it in his private Discord, more power to him, whatever, right? But like, I don't understand his incessant frustration with other people enjoying it, right? Because, as I say, it's not Arknights, and it might not be where you want it to be. But I think it's fair to say, and I'll even ask this to Baku, because Baku's a known person who's like kind of opposes a lot of people's opinions, or at least in my Discord server and stuff, and if Ken's here as well. This is a fair thing to say. The game's been on an upward trajectory, right? Even if it's nowhere near where you want it to be, it's got better, right? It just feels like it feels like a lot of bitterness of this game isn't what I wanted it to be, and I'm angry that it appears to be what other people wanted it to be. And it's a little bit sad, as I say, because I think Tolbrook could be a really good content creator, but this just kind of, it just screams of old man yelling at a cloud kind of situation, right? Of this didn't turn out what I wanted it to be, and now I'm angry about other people are actively enjoying it, and it's a shame to see, man.
Up in one word as decent, but I'm seeing nothing but incessant praise for it, even from people who were very critical of it before.
Again, I have to add in as well, like, it's hard to explain away certain stuff with context. Like, I don't know why he keeps going on about the IDF and Israel and stuff. That's a bit weird, right? But whatever. But like, a lot of these have just been cropped out to Discord, and I'm always from the position of stuff can look a lot worse. It can look worser when you get the context, but context is important sometimes. We've seen Saint do it to Skull CJ, right? Although it was blatantly obvious there, and the stuff, it's different. It's different, right? But do you know what I mean? By cutting out messages before and afterwards and stuff, it's like you can make somebody look like they're saying worse things than what they actually are. But I'm not defending some of these. Not so much this. this is fine. Talking about the fucking, I don't like the story. I've got issues, blah, 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 blah. But, like, yeah, the IDF stuff's a bit odd.
Which to me
So
is
this again here, what if Dusk was from Tel Aviv?
just more evidence that every gacha gamer is really just after hype moments and aura, no matter how much they might larp as a critic. I think their writing decisions towards the end of the new MSQ were really questionable.
Yeah, I agree with that, Baku. In general, this is just somebody voicing their opinion. I got to admit, the IDF and Israel jokes for me, I guess they're just not hitting. I'm not offended by them, but I don't understand them. Like, I think it's bad taste to call the devs IDF goons or whatever it was he specifically said. Like, I mean, that's a bit fucked up for somebody who's a fan of Arknights, you know, just because they're not offering you a product you want. It's like me, you know.
Throughout the story, actually, not gonna lie, Arcane is the most compelling character.
It's very easy to see bad when you go in looking for bad. Agree.
Even then,
agree.
They still couldn't stop themselves.
It's clear he's doing this because he's going to Reddit to get angry about people enjoying the thing he doesn't enjoy, right? So it's clearly he's looking to be angry.
No, the fuck we are not. Can the writers not put insecure Chinese incel egos at the center of the fucking universe for one goddamn second? Sui Lolly is the manifestation of asking what if Dusk was from Tel Aviv. Easily the single worst character so far, that makes me regret crashing out over Rossi, which is an incredible achievement.
Meta, I don't get that
is interesting in theory, but I also can't help but notice, you know, like, a lot of praise.
I'm all down for dark humor, but again, I'll have to play, I guess, to maybe understand this context of this. But like, what's this? Like, I'm laughing at the idiocy of it, right? Because I'm like, I don't get the context. Maybe I'm just stupid.
From cruel bots for simplifying the AIC so the blueprints are easier to place. Enough said on that. I think the patch is a 7 out of 10 at best, but the gargantuan...
That was a lot of shit to just say a 7 out of 10. That did not sound like somebody was giving it a 7 out of 10. Fuck, I'd hate to hear what he's got to say for game's average. 5 out of 10, bro. Game's pretty average. Okay, now let me tell you why it's a 5 out of 10. Fuck.
Mass of seals clapping their bellies at the 10W easy title drop tells me the game is still very much cooked. The problem of the character growth needing admin to be around to say some benign bullshit that emotionally stunted losers don't have the neurons to think of like you gave them hope is present in all of the main story character quests.
Again, I'm all down for some art. This doesn't offend me. This doesn't offend me at all. It just comes across as a bit bitter. Do you know what I mean? It just comes across as a bit bitter. That it's for emotionally stunted losers. Even if you think it is, right? I just think it comes across as a little bit bitter of, you know, I'm above this. And you can think that, right? You can. And again, I'm not even saying that I wouldn't mind some... Well, you know me. I want more vocalization from the Endmin full stop because I think the Endmin's an interesting character. But I do like to see growth of characters without the necessity of the linchpin of the MC to always be the thing that does it. But again, it's just like snarky, it's bitter, it's like... I honestly think Tobra would be a lot happier if you just stopped playing the game. But hey, I ain't telling you what to do. Grown-ass man. Grown-ass man, right?
This is my favorite tweet about Electrios. Quote glitter. I just keep thinking about Electrios, man. Suddenly appears, is insanely cool, makes you question so much, leaves you with a sense of tragedy in your victory. Suddenly appears, is insanely cool. Wow!
See, let's see, like, right, you know, again, I'm all up for having disagreements with people. But again, this... Towards Glitter's like, oh, this is cool, makes you question so much, leaves you a sense of tragedy in your victory. Because, like, we've got to accept sometimes, even if something is kind of simple on the surface, and even sloppy, right, the beauty of stories, music, visuals, reading, is, like, which I hope you guys get across in the video that I'm going to be putting up about Intervallo, Murder on the Warp Train, is that perceptions and what people perceive and take away from stories are quite personal, aren't they? And his responses, he's just a stupid seal. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, has he got beef with Glitter? Like, why the need to be snarky like that, man? Just not necessarily right. Like, again, doesn't offend me. Even if he'd said this about me, wouldn't offend me. I just want to get that out there. You guys know me. You've seen what's been said about me from Kurobot, Saints, fucking Legions, fucking Captain Cabinets. And I'm chill with Cap, right? And I'm chill with plenty of people who've said some fucking mad shit about me. I don't get offended by it, but I just, why? Is all I say. He's like, why? Do you know what I mean? I mean, Glitter chilling. Yeah, every interaction I've had with Glitter, dude just seems like a chill guy, man.
There's definitely a lot more happening in this private server than just these 2 months. It's been happening since the inception of the game. I'll let you decide as to how you feel towards it. Thanks for watching the video. See you. Bye-bye.
Yo! Bro, that's dirty. Yo. You don't want to get on the wrong side of Cookie, do you? All I'll say, monetize a video, Cookie. Like, I gotta be honest. Let me be honest, right? I like Cookie. I don't like it when CCs do this stuff. Let me see, you guys can see. I feel like I just said words I'll never say again after this video. Fair. He kind of said that before in regards to Tolbro, so I don't know if it's necessarily true. It's obviously somebody who kind of frustrates Cookie. Fair. And if he wants to say stuff again after this video, fair. Monetize the video, bro. Like, I don't like it when people do this as if they're like, well, I'm better than this. I don't want to have ads on it. Fuck that, bro. Just put fucking ads on the video, man. You know what I mean? You don't need to pretend you're above this shit. You know what I mean? You really don't. And just fucking say what you gotta say, man. Like, again, I don't know if this video was necessarily... It was needed. So maybe that's why he's not monetized it. But if you're gonna do it, just fucking monetize it, man. Do you know what I'm saying? Just fucking... just make some money off it, man. I think the thing with Tolbro, right? I feel like he could genuinely be a negative pushback in this space that would be somewhat positive, shall we say? Do you know what I mean? In the sense that, because he, like, I think we could say, dude knows how to make a video, right? He knows how to put a video together. I think he knows how to eloquently express himself. And I think it's clear that he's a well-read, intelligent person who's literate, right? But I think the problem is sometimes that with that and content creation can come an inflated idea of that intellect that doesn't come along with impulse control sometimes. And it can make somebody who could really do some good and put out some good content, even if it's slight in the game, right? But because they can't help but make some wild accusations towards people, be snide towards people, and kind of making these tasteless jokes at best, right? Which, again, not offended by them. But, like, it kind of, like, ruins the message. Do you know what I mean? Which is a bit of a shame, because, like I say, I think he could be a genuinely good content creator in the space, but yeah. Dalbo could have been a boon to the space, but he got that fucking mouth under control. I just Scooby Super, or even he would have go call someone like, yeah, like, well, I've got no issue with Super either. I like Super. Yeah, it's just, this is very saint-like behaviour. Do you know what I mean? Is that you can't just disagree with somebody. You have to be insulting towards them. And you know, make jokes, whatever they are, or inferences towards people being potentially pretty shitty characters, which I find just really weird over video games personally. Do you know what I mean? I honestly, again, I'm vocal about the things I don't like, and I'll even talk about, I think people gas things up too much sometimes, right? They do. I'll talk about it all the time with Wua. People talk about peak when it's not really peak, and I think we accept a low bar. But I don't want to insult people for enjoying that. You enjoy what you enjoy, right? You know what I mean? Even if you think it's slop, sometimes slop's edible. Right, we all like a bit of slop sometimes. Yeah, it's just not a good look, is he? Toka could have been the best CC in the space, yet he chose to do this. Bro was Anakin Skywalker, really, right? Bro's Anakin Skywalker? Really? You know? Toba's been given 2 chances to better himself and use Neva. Like, I will give him credit. Not give him credit. I'm going to give him the respect that this wasn't a video. It was put in his Discord, but he's smart enough to know that that shit has been clipped and snipped and shipped before, and it was probably going to be done so again. So, you know, I think if he comes, well, I was in a private Discord and I was having a conversation, it's like, come on, bro, you know what can happen. So I'll give him that. Like, this wasn't like he was making content to try and say this stuff, but he still said it, right? Whether you say it behind closed doors or in public, you know, if you're saying it where people can hear, it's going to get out, right? Leaves a sour taste in your mouth, yeah. It's arguably worse than Saints. I don't know about that. I don't know, man, because, like, Saints spent a better part of a year genuinely inferring that Jenna was a Rungan, attaching him to actual people who'd potentially been exposed for being a Rungan, accused some of us of being involved or being a catalyst to felonies happening of the worst kind, inferred that people like Ryuku Sensei was Rungans around their school stuff, and then was like, it's just a joke if you're inferring that, you know. I think I wouldn't say so, and that was all public, targeted, slanderous attacks repeatedly on people, wasn't he? I think it's a bit different, personally. You know, I think sometimes you guys forget some of the shit Saints done. Like, you got to remember the edits right after Ryuku Sensei and then doing Epstein edits in the video. That shit was fucked up. And then playing dumb. And then quietly editing it out after he got called out, but leaving it there for like another month. With Saints, yeah, I agree with that, Epic. Like, it's fun to take the piss out to Saint, because Saint's just a fucking idiot, right? But we've told her, I agree, it's a little bit sadder, because it's like I say, it's like an Anakin moment. It's like you could have been the chosen one, in a sense, to bring balance to the gacha genre, to the gacha CC space, but you chose the dark side. You know? And, like, he's even acting a little bit like him. Like, the community that's enjoying Enfield is Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Tobaru's lying in the ashes of Mustafar screaming, I hate you! Honestly, I think you should just go back to making Arknights videos or something. Or make good critical videos of the patches of Arknights. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I think they'd be good videos. If he could keep it above board, right, control himself, I think you could probably get some really good critical videos from him that I think could be worthy of being in the space. I do. But he obviously doesn't want to do that because he's not making videos, right? Which is fine. Don't want to make videos. Fucking don't blame him. You know, and again, I have to add that in there. He's not making videos here, right? He's kind of being dragged into the limelight. But it's, you know, it's one of them, innit? You know, it's like, you gotta be careful where and what you say, right? Yeah, like, even if he doesn't move on from Enfield, right, and he wants to be hypercritical about the game, that's fine by me. I take no umbrage with people genuinely, like, man, I'll conversate with Baku all the time and Ken all the time and feel no negative way of coming out of the conversation, even when I feel sometimes things might be a little bit in bad faith, and maybe I'm being too positive sometimes. Everybody's got a different viewpoint, right? But, like, for me, it's just, if other people enjoying something is genuinely getting you bitter, I just stop going looking for that stuff. Like, he's obviously been looking through subreddits, right? Because he mentioned about the Reddit. So he's been going to Reddit posts about Enfield just to prove that people are seal-clapping slop eaters who he doesn't respect, and then compares them to IDF and IDF soldiers and all this sort of stuff, right? It just feels like that's a bit odd to do. Like, play the game in the hope that it's going to get better and continue to be critical about it, right? Cool. Express those criticisms. Cool. But why go looking for people who think differently about it just to be mad about it? Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't get that personally, but each to their own, right? Each to their own. Yes, Reddit info, perfect place to look at, right? like, why bother? Picture, you don't want to know what people think about the thing you invested in. Do I want to know what people think about the thing I invested in? I don't care. I suppose it's interesting sometimes, but at the same time, like, I like Enfield, right? And Ken and Backer have got opposing viewpoints to me on Endfield. I think there's some parts we can have common ground, but for the majority, let's say we disagree. But I don't get angry about that. And if it did frustrate me, because I saw them as, let's say, we're the clapping seals, right? So let's say they're the doom posters, just for the sake of this conversation. If that did anger me, I wouldn't then go to places that I know there's other Bakus and Kens just to then get mad about that. Like, what's the fucking point, man? I can generate my own opinion. I don't need to understand what somebody who's got a totally polar opposite opinion has to say about me that I know actively annoys me as well. Now, if it doesn't annoy me, fair, because it's always interesting to see what's the consensus here. Am I on my own? Am I crazy? I get that. That's normal. That's natural, right? But at the same time, I don't even think he's invested in the game, right? He's... Like, the funniest thing for me out of all of that, do you not think the wildest thing is he said all of those things, right, just to say it's a 7 out of 10? A 7 out of 10's a pretty good score. Do you know what I mean? 7 out of 10's pretty good. Like, I'd hate to hear what he's got to say if he didn't enjoy it. Fuck me, bro. Look at all these unwashed plebs. Yeah, it's kind of what it feels like, right? And then people should be able to vent when they want. And it's his Discord server. My main problem is him using Glitter's Twitter. And you won't find me disagreeing with that, Alani. I said that. I'll give him space in this conversation because he was in his own Discord server. And I think it's totally fine to express his opinions on the game. Even if he is hating on the game, clowning on it, everything. I think the problem where, again, I don't take issue with it in the sense, because I don't actually care. Because, again, he could say all those things about me, and I wouldn't be offended because I don't get offended by other people's opinions over video games and stuff and what they think of me and stuff, because it just really doesn't matter, right? But totally agree with that. I think the problem was, though, that instead of just expressing his opinions, he seemed to have a very bitter take towards people who had differing opinions of him. Do you know what I mean? They were IDF. They're in the trenches looking for their IDF medals or whatever it was, and the devs are like fucking IDF soldiers or whatever the specific wording was. I'm paraphrasing here, and you know, calling Glitter a clapping seal. Like, why? You can express your opinion on the game without like pushing others down. It felt very snarky and snobbish, and doesn't make his point any better. Because that's the thing. Like, Tolbru's eloquent enough to do all of that critical expression and be witty and funny about it without attacking other people. Like, I'm the type of person, right, that unless somebody deserves to be attacked, then it can be incredibly funny to see them get called out, right? But if somebody's just having fun and then somebody comes along and is like, fucking cunt, I'm like, damn, bro. Bro's just enjoying life, man. Leave him alone, you know? It's like, what did he do to hurt you? But like, yeah, him in his Discord server. It's a bit of a shame that those messages have been cut out and put out there. Again, like I say, Cookie should have monetized the video. I don't know if he should have made the video. But it is what it is. I'm here talking about it, so I can't say anything. Maybe I'll make this a video. Oh, no. I ain't here to play the moral high ground. And if I do, I'll put ads on it. So, fuck you. Okay, but from his perspective, people liking what he considers Sarah slop leads to devs making more of that causing his bitterness. That's a him problem, though, isn't he? You can't go through life. It's like I said earlier. I get it. He's angry. The game isn't. It's not made for him. It's made for somebody else, right? It's made for Dave over there. But he's mad at Dave because Dave's actually enjoying the thing that was made for him when he thinks Dave should dislike it so it becomes more like the thing that he wants when there's other games for him. Do you know what I mean? Because I will argue then, we get to that thing of like, well, everything needs to be the same because I like it. And I think that's a very selfish way to view things, right? I understand he wants the game to be better, and he can sometimes even look at stuff and it be a bit more objective than a subjective opinion. But if somebody enjoys it, you know, like, it's like things like modern Star Trek and stuff. I'm annoyed that that's trash, but I think that's made for an audience that probably doesn't exist. But let's say it does. I can't be angry at them for liking it. It might be slop, and I might be like, well, they like slop, but I wouldn't get bitter towards them and say they're ruining it for me. I'd argue that the people who are making it are ruining it, but I also wouldn't then say that the equivalent to fucking suspiciously seal-shaped Dave over there. Honestly, Dave is a Chad. But you get what I'm saying now, right? You get what I'm saying? I honestly, genuinely think it's valid for him to express his opinions on the game. I do. And I understand the frustration as well, and the direction. I was there with Wuthering Waves, but if you go back through my channel, all my critiques with Wuthering Waves that led me to quitting the game, I always put them, this is my perception of what I want from the game, and it's just not becoming that, and it's going further and further away from that. So I just stopped. I didn't, like, use that to insult the people who wanted it, because guess what? I was kind of the minority, because the game's gone from strength to strength, right? It's just that it wasn't what I wanted it to be. The only reason I clown on vocal Kurobots is because of the way they act. I don't clown on fucking some dude who's just coming home from work and loving Wuthering Waves. More power to him. It just wasn't made for me. It was made for him. Do you know what I mean? And that's life, right? That's how things are. Life's too short. Just try to hang on to this idea of it being something you want it to be, and just move on to the thing that is that you want it to be, because there's plenty of games out there that will fill the void that Enfield could have been, if that makes sense. I don't think the jokes were funny, and not because they were offensive. They kind of just don't make sense to me. I'm struggling with the correlation, other than that I hate him, so let me attach him to something else I potentially hate. I guess that's where he was going with it. Comedy is subjective. Some people would have found that funny, I guess, and I can't judge them for it. I didn't, because they were just kind of shit jokes. But yeah, remember, comedy is subjective. One man's trash is another man's treasure, right?